Mm. Yeah, the young monk, he went to New Jersey to Monday. So you come tomorrow with Dr. Michael will be here. Yeah, he usually come around 9. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's start to do meditation then. Sorry, let's start to discuss the meditation. So Anthony, so you do, if you want, you can come on Saturday to do meditation here.
Where at the temple
Yeah,
or
yeah, every Saturday,
what time
it's,
on Saturday?
8 to 11.
Okay, I didn't know there was one from 8 to
Really?
11, but yeah.
Enjoy that more than coming on Sunday.
What's that?
I said he might enjoy that more than coming on
Yes,
Sunday.
yes.
Okay.
Because yeah, we break out 45 minutes of sitting and 15 minutes for walking. I think you may enjoy more. Otherwise, on Sunday, you may not understand much in Vietnamese.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and
So,
that's this Saturday from 8 to
yeah,
11?
every Saturday, unless we have some special occasion, I will let you
Right.
know first. Otherwise, that's our regular schedule.
So that's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Saturday? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know about that. That it wasn't in this pamphlet, so
You're in town?
Yeah, he's in town.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, nice.
the
Yeah.
one over on 3rd Street, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would definitely come to that one then.
Yeah. You're not far away from us, right?
About 30 minutes.
Okay.
That's
Not.
not bad.
Yeah. Miss Taylor, what's your experience at first when you went to Vietnamese temple and listened to the chanting? How was that?
Beautiful. I
Um,
think it's beautiful.
mm, how are you? How was that at
I
first?
I almost have all the Chu Daibi memorized.
Oh.
Almost. There's a few.
How about, I mean, at beginning, at the first time when you hear, when you listen to chanting, how did you feel? How was that?
Well, of course, I enjoyed listening to it, and I was really excited to figure out how to listen and connect the words of the concentration of
Mm.
hearing a language I didn't speak and trying to read it at the same time.
How about you, Sam?
Similar to Houston, like when I first came to the Vietnamese chanting, I didn't know the words, but I kind of recognized like the pattern of some of the prayers because I'd heard them in other languages and could see they were kind of similar. And I like the part where we go circumambulate, go around the Buddha Hall in a circle.
Mm. Especially you enjoy last year Buddhist chanting, right? Buddhist name chanting. Huh? It's the rhythm, you follow the rhythm, huh? Mm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
that was my first time coming was last the for the new year. That was my first time being there. So I yeah, loved it.
Yeah. Usually when we have special celebration, we do in bilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when we do the chanting here, most time we do in Vietnamese, and I only explain, I give lecture in bilingual. Mm. Yeah. Rupaya, when you were there, you listened to Vietnamese chanting, right? How was that?
I went to two temples. I went to on Saturday, my friend's aunt goes to this one temple, and that's a Chinese one. And then on Sunday I went to yours. Now the Chinese one, they were doing chantings, but I couldn't understand anything. They had these lions, I believe, as well. They brought out the lions, and when you walked in, they had the little red envelope, and they'd come around and you gotta put it in their mouth and stuff. And the lions were dancing, and they had this one like black one. I don't know if the colors have significance. I know there's a lot of different colors. And they had this cabbage on a stick, and they're like dangling it, and he was trying to go up and get it. So yeah, it was chanting, they had these kind of these dancers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of looked like
Mm.
sort of like it was just very flowy, like very like flow like dancing. And then it had these kids kind of doing some sort of like martial arts as well. So I don't know if it's different at every temple, but they had a lot going on at that one, uh at the Chinese one.
Actually, that's only for special occasion.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
No, not week like not weekly or even monthly.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Special occasion at that type
Does
of
your temple do something weekly? Is that, I know he told me I won't do it, but he teaches Vietnamese to the new generation of kids weekly, and then he also does something else in Vietnamese like lessons as well.
yeah.
Is that all that happens weekly at the temple?
But again, now plenty of sutra or teaching in English, so you don't need to learn the second the second language. It's not necessary. Mm. You so the first time you're here?
Yeah,
So how could you know a place?
I live right down
Oh really?
and right down the road.
Oh
So I
really?
drive by.
Oh okay. So you just stop by. Stop by.
I read about it
Oh
online.
good.
and
You were not here during the celebration, right?
No,
You heard the firecracker, the
I heard,
firework. You heard that?
yeah, I drove by and I saw all the people. I mean, the
Mhm.
parking lot
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
just packed.
Yeah, that's only for special occasion, not every week, every month. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for the new year. Mm. So, Anthony, you came from beginning to the end, or you came late or early? What?
I came from the start and stayed till the end of it.
Um,
Watched the dance. I actually even have some videos and pictures from it. It was so moving, so
mm,
well spiritual. It just
yeah, it's
was.
first time. First time.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was my first time. Yes, it was my first time.
Yeah, that the whole community activities. Yeah, we want
Yeah.
to everyone involved. All right,
Right.
let's move on. Yeah, let's move on our discussion today. Let me see here. Hmm, I hope that you can see. Too small? Too small. Yeah. You know?
Can you go one bigger? There you go.
Very good. It's better now.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Let's start. We talked about Pure Land. Um, uh, Anthony, you understand about the Pure Land, the tradition in the Buddhist tradition? You know what's the Pure Land?
Uh, not exactly. I it's where everything is
Mm,
safe.
Theater, explain it.
briefly.
Oh, to briefly explain it.
Can you hear her?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
So in this particular tradition of Mahayana Buddhism, the Western Pure Land, it is in the West because the sun sets in the West, which also represents death. So during when this tradition came about, there was very like low amounts of literacy. Life was pretty hard. So, and Buddhism was mainly for monks that had time to sit around and do a lot of meditation and study. In Mahayana Buddhism is a path for even like the lay people, for everyone to be able to make some attainments. So this Buddha, the Amitabha Buddha, he made this great vow and created what they called the Western Pure Lands. And that is a place you can go after you die. It is also a state of mind. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a physical place. It's also a state of mind. Where it's very easy to attain Buddhahood. So you don't have a body that keep you in suffering, or you have a body, but not like this kind of body. And so it's and you practice with all the highest achieving Buddhists there were, and you learn the pure Dharma. And you do this, the way you're able to get to this pure land is by sincere repetition of the name Amitabha Buddha. So if you just sincerely repeat Namo Amitabha, whatever language you choose, that at your time of death, the Amitabha Buddha will come with I guess attendants or bodhisattvas and take you to the Western Pure Land. You can attain Buddha.
Can you do by yourself?
Mhm.
You can?
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can do actually both the bell and the
Wooden fish.
yeah. I can
Wow,
do
that's
both.
nice. How, without them, can you do the rhythm by yourself?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Will you try?
Oh, see if I don't want to do it in front.
Okay.
You guys don't want to
Alright,
do
that's
it.
okay. All right, so yeah, let me summarize what she mentioned. You know, if you visit rather country like Thailand, Burma, Sri Laos, and so forth, most of the time the lay people don't do meditation. Meditation is for monks only, so that they can attain the nirvana or liberation. That's not for the lay people. Of course, nowadays they're open, but it's not popular. In Mahayana tradition, it's inclusive, to include everyone. So monk can do meditation, lay people can do meditation, especially this type of Pure Land tradition. Can you imagine that? Of course, you go to Disneyland, right? In California or in New Orleans, yeah, this is pretty fun, but you have to pay for a ticket, right? So it uplift when you go there. It's a lot of fun. It uplift your spirit, make you enjoy the scene and so forth. But of course, you have to pay for the ticket. So there's the Pure Land. The Pure Land, the Buddha made a vows to raise that kind of land so that people can go there to enjoy their life. In the sense that they would emerge in the Dharma and work to the path to the goal of become Buddha by themselves. But like your student, they go to university to be trained to become both doctor, engineer, and so forth. So that is like the school. Yeah, it's just in general. Then, Sam, you want to say anything about that?
I have thoughts about it. I don't know what to say. 'Cause, yeah, like the Buddhas, because they like create merit, you know, the good karma around them, they can use that merit to benefit others by creating like an ideal place for people to become enlightened. And when you focus your mind through chanting and or meditation on the Buddha, you can like mentally go to that Pure Land, and since your mind kind of determines like your whole being, then if you focus on it enough, then you know your whole being goes to the Pure Land. And yeah, the most popular one is the Western Pure Land of the Amitabha Buddha, which means like infinite light, or infinite life, and they also call him Amitayus, which means infinite light. That's like the most popular one for people to try to be born in, but a bunch of different Buddhas make Pure Lands in different directions of the universe. But they generally are like, you should go to his, because his is a really good one for most people become enlightened.
Well, and he dedicates all of his, so normally we don't have enough, or most of us haven't created enough merit in our lifetimes to be able to go to such a place, but he dedicated all of his merit so that just through the recitation of his name, you can also take on that merit to project yourself.
Miss Taylor, you understand more about Pure Land. You like to share anything about Pure Land?
Yes, well, I understand less now. How does that fit in with reincarnation?
Okay, it fit into here. The idea in Buddhism, or even most of Asian tradition, is that we do practice meditation so that we can let go of our attachment. We can be free from attachment. I used to give the analogy that for our generation, right? I don't know, probably you may be young. For our generation, when we were little, right? Let's say when we were 6 or 7 year old, right? There's no cell phone around, right? Were you there when you were little? You have cell phone already?
No, no,
Oh, really?
no, just barely.
Yeah.
What happened now?
Yeah.
Now everyone had at least one, right?
Yeah, I was born in 71, so we didn't have them. I mean, I saw the rise of them too. So yeah, I was like not until later on when I first saw a cell phone. It was like in a big box bag. Yeah, yeah.
How about Rupaya? Rupaya, you when you were little, you have cell phone around? Oh, you have?
Born in 2004, so we grew up around it.
I was like a teenager then.
Mhm.
Okay, anyway, so my point is that for our generation, right? Except you like Rupaya, you're still young. So our generation, when we were little, right, we would not have cell phone around, right? And so
Right.
my point is that what happened now, I have probably at least 95% of people have a cell phone, right? So what happened when we break our cell phone? We would not use it anymore, or we will going to find another one.
Find another
Find another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would all lose our phone numbers. So we wouldn't remember who to call.
I don't know. And my point is that it's work the same way. When we're done with this life, we want to stop, or we want to have another life. We will have another life, right? We look for another life, like we look for another cell phone. Make sense now? But that's why,
Yeah.
because of attachment to the cell phone, that's why we're looking for another one to use. Because attachment to the body, we're looking for another body to follow or to live. Make sense now?
Yes.
That keep the cycle of birth. Make sense now? It go on and go on endlessly. Unless we say, oh, I'm tired of this cell phone, oh, I'm tired of this life, I don't want to go. That's what most of the Asian tradition try to do, to stop the attachment to the attachments so that they can be free, right? To be free in and out. But as much as we have the attachment to anything else, right? Cell phone, our body, we will find another body in Buddhist view, not only human body, but celestial body, animal body, and so forth. Make sense now?
Yeah, it does.
That's why I keep rolling again and again. So the idea, go back to your question, Miss Taylor, the idea of the Pure Land is that when you go there, you won't be reborn again, because you be immersed in the Dharma, and you would not attach. I put this way, the environment help you to detach everything, even it's so beautiful. Whichever thing you want is in front of you, in front of your eyes. But up to the point that you don't want to attach to anything. At that moment, yeah, you work on the path of enlightenment to become Buddha. Make sense? So
Yes, but one more question. How does that have to do with, how does that go with being a bodhisattva?
oh,
If you promise to not,
okay.
that you promise, yeah.
Okay, so that here. So the idea of Bodhisattva is that you stay back here. You don't go there. Because if you go there, you won't, until you become Buddha, you come back to heaven. But as soon as you make the vows for practicing Buddhist path, you're supposed to be here so that you can help other people. Make sense? Unless you
Yeah.
and you want to go there to become Buddha quickly. It's like let's say some people, they like to be substitute teacher, right? For the rest of their life, they don't want to go to school and they don't want to have any training. They just stay back to help the student, that's all. Make sense? But
Yeah.
other people, yeah, being substitution is not enough. They want to go to school to get the license, become a fully teacher. Make sense now?
Yes, thank you. Mofok.
So that's two. So when you stay back here, you have others, right? Until you accumulate enough merit and wisdom to become Buddha. That's pretty long time. When you recite Buddha name, you go there and you become Buddha quickly because it's the training environment. It's like you go to medical school, engineering school, to be trained to become doctor, be trained to be engineer.
Mm.
So for sure, whenever you go there, you won't forget anymore, right? And in the meanings that hi Ben, how you be Ben?
Good, doing good.
Yeah, how your train, how your driving? It's good.
It's good,
Warm
good,
out.
doing good.
It's
Yes, nice.
right. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Anyway, so let's go back then. So the idea is that when someone were born over there, they were not born with the well, there's no parents. They were born inside the lotus sutra, lotus flower.
Mm.
There's no gender at all because our mind go beyond the gender. Make sense? Now we
Yeah.
here, we have a gender, right? We have male, female. That's why we have some kind of attachment, right? Make sense? That's why we live in what they call duality, right? Good, bad, black, white, and so forth. That's why we fight in every day. Make sense? But when we go
Yes.
because of pure mind, we born in the lotus flower, and there's no gender at all. So
Okay.
when we become Buddha, it's go beyond the gender. Make sense now?
Yes, Mofok.
Thank you. All right, let's yes, Anthony, you want to ask something?
Yes, what is that she is saying? I heard it last week. I couldn't. I couldn't
Yeah,
understand that.
can you explain, Miss Taylor? What would you say so that Emily can understand?
Mofok is a polite way to say thank you or okay.
Actually, no, more, no,
Bless,
that,
Buddha bless you.
yeah,
No.
more is Namo homage, pay homage to Buddha. So the more of the preparation of Namo Ayurveda Phật. You see the
Oh, it's an abbreviation.
when the children come here, see the monk and nun, they say Namo Phật. That the reading that are in our Buddhist tradition, the reading that we wish that when we do each other, in the sense that we wish that everyone of us will be born over there in the Pure Land. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, okay. Let me share with you the short video clip about the Pure Land so that we can have the idea, okay, general idea before we discuss more further. Yeah, I showed last time, right? You watched this one before, right, Sam?
Yeah, we watched this one.
Yeah. Yes, Ben, have you watched this one before, Ben?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, let's watch it again so that.
Do you know Amitabha Buddha? Let's talk about this Buddha called Amitabha. Buddhism teaches that there are countless Buddhas in the universe. For example, Shakyamuni Buddha, who is familiar to us, achieved Buddhahood in our world. In an Eastern Pure Land, there is the Medicine Buddha. Amitabha is the Buddha in the Western land of bliss. He is acclaimed by the Buddhas of the 10 directions as the king of all Buddhas. Amitabha is also known as the Buddha of infinite light and infinite life. Why is this Buddha so remarkable? The power of his vows is the greatest. His wisdom is supreme, and he delivers sentient beings most effectively, using the most skillful means. If you wonder how deeply Amitabha Buddha loves you, just look at what he has done for you. He created the land of bliss on your behalf. Everything there emits wondrous, splendid lights. Its surfaces, trees, palaces, and pavilions are forged from various streams. The water of 8 meritorious virtues and the 7 jeweled lotus ponds nourishes body and mind. Whatever clothing you want, the mere thought of it will make it appear on your body, well-fitting, comfortable, beautiful, and elegant. Whatever foods you like, thinking about them will manifest them before you. Delicious, exquisite, hearty, and nutritious. Beings who live there do not age, fall ill, or die. There is no contamination, anxiety, or fear, so there are no bathrooms, hospitals, or cemeteries. Everyone has divine vision, hearing, mind-reading ability, and fleetness of foot. Their special powers which make even the Monkey King envious. What's more, everyone there can become a Buddha quickly. They escaped the horrors of the cycle of rebirth in the six realms. There is only joy, no suffering. Maybe you think this is all just the work of supersized VR technology. No, there is indeed such a place. Amitabha Buddha established the land of bliss after countless eons of practice. So here's the question. How do we get to the land of bliss? Amitabha says, you only need to recite my name, Namo Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha's land of bliss is not custom made for monastics alone. It is for everyone. Its login password is Namo Amitabha Buddha. You can recite the name, whatever your location, and whatever your condition, posture, or mood. Amitabha recitation can calm minds, aid sleep, avert troubles, improve luck, ward off calamity and misfortune, safeguard homes, boost blessings and wisdom, and secure the protection of the bodhisattvas. The greatest benefit of Amitabha recitation comes when you are about to take leave of this world. Amitabha Buddha will appear with an assembly of bodhisattvas to take you to the land of bliss. The teaching behind rebirth through Amitabha recitation is profound and subtle, but it doesn't matter if you don't yet understand it. Just recite the name. Consider a smartphone that contains increasingly sophisticated technology. You don't have to understand it. It's fine, so long as you know how to use it. Because this method is simple and user-friendly, gaining rebirth in the Pure Land through Amitabha recitation has 4 millennia been called the easy path. The practice of Amitabha recitation has also been called the other power approach, meaning that we rely on the power of the Buddha. So what is the relationship between Amitabha Buddha and you? Let's take an example. Other Buddhas also love you very much, but they seem more like your teachers. Teachers open the door. You must enter through your own efforts. Amitabha is more like your father. He gives you all his meritorious assets accumulated over countless years, so long as you recite Namo Amitabha Buddha. The 6-character name Namo Amitabha Buddha is truly the most miraculous, loving, and mind-blowing creation. The name Namo Amitabha Buddha contains all the merits and virtues of 84,000 schools of Dharma practice, including meditation, repentance, sutra chanting, and mantra recitation. 2,500 years ago, Shakyamuni Buddha, the greatest enlightened person in history, recommended the 6-character name to us. By reciting the name, we can exit the rebirth cycle and be reborn in the land of bliss. Dharma masters throughout history witnessed many proofs of this wonderful phenomenon, so they taught it from generation to generation. That's how Amitabha's name has come down to us from ancient times. With such a treasure before us, don't just stand idle. Recite Amitabha's name at once, and remember to always recite Namo Amitabha Buddha.
So, Anthony, you follow? You get the idea now, right?
Yeah, I was also taking notes just to look at it later too, so I could remember it too.
Sam, how about you? What do you think? Why didn't Shakra Buddha, the historical Buddhas, establish a Pure Land for us to go instead of introduce another Buddha for us to go? Why?
Well, I've read that Shakyamuni Buddha said that that is the sutra that will be remembered the longest. Because in the beginning of Dharma age, when the Shakyamuni Buddha first taught, when he was still alive, like a bunch of people became enlightened because they were taught by him directly. And then after he was gone from the earth, there was still, the Sangha that had been recently established by him that still, it hadn't been very long. So, it was still, people could still do it that way. But the Pure Land Sutra, the Amitabha Buddha Sutra, it's meant to last longer than all the other ones because where it's simpler, it's like even thousands of years from now when a lot of the old sutras and teachings are lost, it's like a way for people to still cross over to a better way to escape reincarnation instead of continuing to be stuck in the cycle. Because where the Shakyamuni Buddha knew like everything, he knew about all the other Buddhas in the universe, like Amitabha Buddha, and could like recommend that Pure Land to people. Because also he knew the best ways to teach different kinds of people.
You understand? Is it similar to Christianity?
Yeah,
People
Yeah,
in God, right? And they don't go there. Is it similar, Mr. Taylor, right?
yes, disappointingly similar. It's just, it's, to me, it sounds exactly like God and heaven.
Yeah, but
And
here the difference. You know the difference between
what is the difference?
Well, I mean, you're still responsible of attaining yourself, like the Amitabha Buddha has this land, but you still have to go and study and practice. Now, of course, all the difficult things like this, the body and the craving and the desires significantly tamped down. But you are, first of all, you're in charge of going there, and then once you're there, you're still in charge of enlightening. You know.
Yeah, the one thing. Ben, you understand the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference then?
Well, it looked like the Amitabha, I don't know how to say it. Amitabha Buddha seemed like the Buddha of all Buddhas, and he had built something over millennia. Like Kirsten's saying, it's something that you don't like in Christianity. You die and you go to heaven, and you're kind of in this immortal body, and you just worship God for eternity. Here, you actually can manifest things like it said the clothing that you want. You can do meritorious deeds. I don't know. It's very similar. I think in a lot of cultures there is this heavenly realm, a place where you can escape suffering. So it's just interesting to me.
I think another difference is how in the Pure Land, it's actually like a training ground to become a Buddha or Bodhisattva. So it's like when you go to the Pure Land, you're still learning. You're like learning from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Like it's not like you just go there to like, enjoy yourself.
Live out eternity.
Yeah, you go there so you can continue to become more like a Bodhisattva until you do. And then if you go the Bodhisattva path, then you can leave the Pure Land and go back to help others, or you can become like a Buddha in the Pure Land and then like just like dwell in the state of nirvana.
Well, and two, it's when you go there, you're going to liberate yourself, right? From your attachment, whereas the Christian, Jewish religions, you are saved. It's an exterior sort of salvation, where still in the Buddha land, it's an interior, or it's a self-liberation.
One is that there's some God that set you, control you.
Right.
You don't have any right. You have any power on yourself, right? You follow, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Another one is that you go there, but you still control yourself. You go there, you study. Of course, you will won't retreat until you become a Buddha. Nice. And in some special sutra, especially in the longest Amitabha Sutra, it mentioned what they call 9 levels. 9 level of attainment, even when someone there. So let's say if someone was born over there, but they still have a lot of anxiety, a lot of desire, and so forth. They stay within that lotus flower.
Yeah,
for million of years.
Your lotus flower. So you're not born of a human body, right? Because the human body, first of all, you get this idea of separation and duality, right? So that's why you're born of this lotus that's not of pain and suffering, and it opens up or the speed of it opens up according to your
mind state
and in your mind state. That's your births, which can take a very long time, or if you're very far
Mhm.
along, it opens.
Yeah. So the point is, in Western tradition, you be safe. You know, don't you cannot control yourself. You don't have any power on yourself. That's one, right? But in Buddhist view, even you be safe, you be rescued, be safe to the Western experience, but depend upon your state of mind. If you have pure state of mind, you will progress quicker. If somehow you have some kind of attachment, um, you still work on the path, but you much slower. And you can stay within that slow flower for millions of years until you recognize or you let go of attachment. Um, and imagine that you go to somewhere place else, right? People provide you everything. You don't concern about the job, the food, and so forth. You just sit there and meditate. You just sit there and recite Buddha names. You can make the spiritual progress quicker, right? Is that up say at home? Is at home you're busy with your work, with all the concern. So again, the Pure Land is the my training ground.
It's just that, yeah, that the
Mhm.
conditions are perfect and the things
Yes.
that make it
Mhm.
like enlightening and in this realm so
So
hard.
yeah, so the big difference is that in Western tradition and Christian tradition, you be safe and you don't have any power on yourself. And this Pure Land tradition, yes, you have the power to change your mind when you're up there until you let go of everything, until you follow the path. And the ultimate goal is to become another Buddha. In the Western tradition, you be saved, that's all. You serve God, that's all, eternally. But when you go there in the Western, Eastern Pure Land, you go there, the ultimate goal is to become another Buddha. That's big different. It makes sense, Anthony?
Yes.
Makes sense, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it makes sense, but I have a question about like the different, I guess, Theravada and just like those two different beliefs because I guess at this point we're getting more into like I don't know which word to use for like the more like historic part of Buddhism or just the more like right so do both branches kind of have that core belief in Pure Land?
No.
No? Okay.
Let me share with you the chart so you can understand the difference. Yeah, you should know the difference. I think we discussed it before too, right? That this is a chart here. You can see, let me share with you the screen. Oh, right here. Can you see now? It's too small, or can you see?
I
Can you-
can see.
Can say.
Let me increase. It's better. You see that here? So that's mean Thera that's mean elder. Rada that's mean the path. Maha that's mean great. Yana that's mean the path or the vehicle, the small vehicle, large vehicle. So it focuses on individual cultivation, right? The key wisdom, the key is virtually wisdom, and religion primarily focus on the monks. Like when you went to Silicon Temple, right? Most of the celebration focus on the monastics, more on the monastic communities, not much with the lay people. Yeah, but here, man involved with others. Man is not alone because we are interconnected, and the key virtue is compassion. Beside wisdom, religion is for everywhere, for everyone, including lay people and monastics. The ideal is to become arhat in Theravada tradition, to get out the birth cycle. Like just give you an example of this, the cell phone, right? As long as you don't attach to the cell phone, you're free. You don't pay any penny for the bill. Make sense? I mean, I'm talking about this phone bill. And ideal is the Bodhisattva to help oneself and help others. Right? Nirvana is for oneself. That's why they don't care much about others. They just focus mainly on meditation, whether people come or not. That's their choice. That's their business.
Mhm.
But in Theravada, Mahayana, yes, Nirvana, they can attend even the heaven, hell. It's everything for order for everyone. The path open for everyone. Everyone is included. The Buddha is a saint, or the sage Buddha is saver, like Amitabha Buddha. So they avoid speculation, liberate more. Metaphysics include ritual, conservative and more liberal, accept everyone. Right? This is Pali text. I mentioned much about karma, dharma. The text is about Sanskrit, use Sanskrit. Or wisdom school, new wisdom school. That's mean it is the different, right? They focus on mainly meditation. The meditation, you cannot go anywhere.
Mhm.
But in Mahayana, yes, beside meditation, you can say Buddha name, you say mantra, yin chong, right?
Yeah, they came up with other ways for the lay people to do it that didn't require months of you going out and sitting in the woods by yourself.
You can decide Buddha name anytimes. Right, especially you see many elder Vietnamese people, right? They just defer to the Buddha name instead of sitting there, because they're still too old, or of course when they're young they don't know they didn't know how to do meditation. It happens to pardon spiritually for them to say Buddha name. It's much easy. Anytime they can decide Buddha name, they don't need to pay anything. Yeah, and escape samsara, reach nirvana. Samsara is nirvana. That's the idea. Miss Taylor, you see that? For Bodhisattva, whether we here or nirvana, is if if the Bodhisattva have that kind of wisdom, there's no different. Because as of now, they don't have attachment. There's no different whether they have the iPhone or the smartphone. Make sense? iPhone and smartphone is just is used, right? It's used for communication. But for all the people, if they attach cell phone is different from iPhone is different from smartphone, right?
Mhm.
The bit different because attachment.
How is the samsara nirvana? What is like? Can you expand on that?
Nirvana,
Like, how is like when it says the samsara is nirvana? Like,
Nirvana is the total detachment from everything. You be free of everything. You don't have any attachment. If you don't have attachment, you can be free. Like just give you that example of the cell phone. Make sense? As long as we still have attachment to the cell phone, attachment to the body, attachment to the idea, we still revolve again because we want to have another one. Make sense? If we detach all of them, we be free. That's all.
I thought the samsara was like the cycle, the cycle part of it, like the cycle of suffering.
Yeah.
So like,
Really bad.
so I thought like overall, like just general Buddhism, I thought it was like trying to escape the samsara and like how it says reach nirvana.
Yeah.
And it's
Mhm, that's the idea.
Yeah, I think like the part that, the way it's phrased on that chart that you're asking about, how it's different, what the chart is trying to explain, is like, in like the Theravada system, it's like you have to go, to get out of samsara, you have to just like follow the monk path, and like they think that like basically like, if you're a layperson, you have to, have good karma and then get reborn as a monk. And then if you're a good enough monk, then you can get out of samsara. And it's like a whole like tiered process. But in Mahayana tradition, anybody can go to nirvana, because the thing is like samsara, like nirvana, like we have in like Mahayana tradition, we have like the Buddha nature, it's called, where like everybody all the time has the ability to reach nirvana. I mean, it doesn't mean that you will, but it's possible that like at any time, you don't have to go through like a whole like linear path the way it's described in Theravada tradition. Like you can basically like find nirvana within samsara spontaneously, like at any time.
Oh,
Well, and it's kind of like, you can get in Buddhism, you can get these really like pedantic arguments of what is nirvana.
Yeah.
So, from the like Mahayana school, nirvana can be here, right? It's that you've removed all your attachments, and then with your true nature, you're still kind of here. Where I think from the Theravada school, like once you become an arhat, whatever, that nirvana is this almost extinguishment of any further rebirth of anything.
Yeah, Ben, you want to ask something, Ben?
I think they just said it, you know, that we can have nirvana here on earth. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. You know, for my whole life, like I strive to go to heaven or this place outside of time and space. But from what I've studied, it's just in your mind. It's just
In the
right
mind.
here. Mhm.
Yeah. Why? Let's say you know let's say everything is depend upon our state of mind, right? I just gave you that example of the cell phone. Like if we have delicious food, if people put the food on the table, right? We should see, oh, the food is the food, whether it's delicious or not, we can consume to sustain this body. So that bit different from, oh, that's so delicious, I consume more, I have stomach. You understand that? That's bring the suffering down. But if we have that the right view, right mind, okay, just the food. That's why in Buddhist view, the food is just the medicine, especially the older you are, right? The easy for you to recognize, right? You have to be careful what kind of food you consume. When you're still young, yeah, your body can handle any kind of food, but when you above 50, 16, you see the impact of the food. Even a spoon of rice, you know, see some elderly people, they eat Indian rice that doesn't have much cholesterol. Yeah, so yeah, so the point is that as much we see, oh, food just the medicine for us to sustain the body. As much we know, oh, the cell phone is just the mean for us to communicate. As much we know, the laptop is just the mean for us to do our work. That's what we call this is whichever we call, whether detachment or just the word, but we be free. Make sense? Be free from the suffering when our phone break down, when there's no more delicious food, right? When our car broke down, right? You understand now, right? About Rubaya, you follow now?
I understand, but I kind of have a question for you personally, since you've came from a time where there were no phones, I guess. I mean, I guess you guys all kind of came from a time where there were no phones.
Yeah.
So now that everything is pretty much like
Mm-hmm.
technology based, like at this point, it's really hard to function without having a sort of attachment to, your
Mm-hmm.
car, your phone, your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Has attachment become more difficult for you throughout the years as Western technology has progressed? How has that shifted? How has that changed for you
It's
personally?
up layers by layers, all right. How about you, Anthony? Can you respond to that question? How you handle the layers of attachment, especially social medias and so forth?
Sometimes sometimes I don't have it on, but it definitely has changed because you pay attention to it more, and sometimes you rely on it more for your news or more so than to communicate. Just send the emails, to take your pictures, the things that you never could have done when we had the film cameras, or the phone didn't follow you everywhere when it was on the wall, you know. And now it's like you go out the door and it's like, where's my phone, my keys? You have to think of everything. And so it's kind of become more of a burden, actually. But it's unfortunately a necessity burden, a necessary burden sometimes to have, because work calls, or if you have family that might need to reach you for an emergency or what have you. So that can be a bit of a burden. Or, I remember when I was in school once, a teacher told us that there would be a time that we would not carry cash. We would all have plastic cards. And I thought, no way. Now we have the card. And what happens if you lose your card? You can't get to your bank, you can't get your money, and you need it. There's your attachment to that card right there. So it's a dependent, we're codependent on it a little bit more than we were when we were younger. I mean, we always knew where the phone was, or we had cash at that point. Now it's a big difference as far as that goes.
Yeah, people can go to Instagram for the young people, right?
Yeah.
People, they go to Facebook to check
TikTok.
TikTok to check their selfie. So it build up, right? It build up layers from layers of attachment. So how can we free them?
I mean, the more you understand the true nature of things, and the more, like, I know for me, the more I understand my certain attachments, the easier it is for me, like when I'm faced with having to let go of something, I've built a pretty strong let go muscle in my hours and hours of meditation. So it's a little bit easier for me to let go. But sometimes sometimes you can say that, like I remember when I had, this was a number of years ago, when I had to put my dog to sleep. He was really, it was his time. And of course that's so painful. To say that's my attachment, that's not necessarily best for the situation. And like all the things that make us suffer, it is my wanting this dog to be around forever that's causing me that sadness. So it's
So what do you think? You're still young, right? With your generation,
Relatively.
it's just layers of like social media and so forth. And somehow most of us have some sort of addiction, right? So you view how you view that kind of adaptation. It is the most the needs or the luxury. What do you think?
I feel like sometimes it's necessity.
But more in average.
Just like every day. I don't know. Like I think you can walk away from things. I think there's times where you can just try to get yourself away from it. It can be necessary, but I think you create the attachment.
Yes.
Yeah. So depend upon how. Yes, Miss Taylor, right?
I agree. I think that it can be a necessity, but it becomes an attachment when it's a craving for it.
I think about this a lot, and I think it's extremely dangerous, especially for kids and younger people who grow up with it, because I feel like, we were born in what's already samsara. It's like important to realize that samsara isn't just about attachment, it's about attachment to illusion, because, what's in samsara is ultimately not real, or at least our understanding of it isn't real. But with like technology, with like the internet, especially now that like AI is becoming big, the internet and AI, it's like there's so many things that are these illusions that are so compelling that there's like a blurring between what's real and what's not real, even worse than ever. It's like we've created an extra layer, like I keep hearing the word layer, like it's like we created an extra man-made samsara within the samsara that already existed. And those of us who grew up, without it, I feel like we're a little bit better able to separate. But like I've heard stories and I've known of kids, they get so addicted to like video games because for them, the video game is more real than reality. Or even like teens, especially like teen girls, like some of them will even like have like bad feelings about the way they look because they're so used to looking at themselves with filters. Like they filters to look younger, or get the bigger eyes and smaller nose and whatever. They get these filters that distort the way that they see themselves. and they look at a mirror of how they look in reality, and they feel horrible about the way they actually naturally look, and just stuff like that. I mean, you've even got like, the games where kids will have like an avatar where instead of being like, a human, they can be like, like a dragon or a robot or anime character or whatever. And I think that the line between that and reality is getting weaker and weaker for each generation. And for us adults, we can say, oh, I'm addicted to social media. I need to take a break. I need to step away from it. But that's because we at least have the concept of being able to do that. But like with kids that like grow up with it like all the time, like it's more real to them than reality.
Their mind, they've done studies, like they did a study where it was they put the VR on
Yeah, those
kids,
VR
they put
headsets,
the VR on the kids of a certain age, and it was like some sort of underwater experience, maybe with dolphins or something like that. One group with the VR, and then another group, they actually took and had the kids play with the adults. They're with the way their brains processed it, and then like whatever the amount of elapsed time went, there is no difference with the simulated reality, with the way their brains recalled this very real simulated reality versus the kids that were like biochemically or whatever, the same parts of the brains light up, even though the one kids really did it and the other kids only. Yeah, so it's like there's really not a discernible way for those little brains to be able to know the difference.
I mean, I know it's kind of cliche, but I mean, we're literally making the Matrix movie happen almost like in real life. Like, except it's gonna be even worse probably. Like, once you have people in virtual reality all the time, I mean, like the thing that people are saying now is, if you're in like a city and the city's falling apart and like full of like homeless people and drug addiction and all the buildings and infrastructure is falling apart, but you're wearing a VR that lets you see whatever you want to see, then you're able to ignore the real reality while it falls apart in favor of this pretend reality. I think that's really dangerous.
That's predicted by 2040 by all the best few. I mean, I know you guys hear me say this a lot, but it's predicted by 2040 technological singularity will be here, and we will not be able to discern the difference between a technological reality and what we consider biological reality. It's going to be so morphed that it's
Anthony.
It's funny. It made me think of a day that the power went out all over here in New Albany, right? And I went outside to sit for a minute, and I didn't have my phone with me, and I looked and I saw all these kids coming outside, and they were looking around, and I was like, to me in my mind, it was like they're going, "What is this place? This is outside. What is it?" I didn't even know that we had kids in our neighborhood. But they were all looking around like they'd been dropped from a spaceship or something. So it's like, they were probably sitting at home on their video games. So yeah, the virtual realities are really bad too. I mean, there's a game called Second Life, and then there's bullying on it too. So yeah, it makes people feel like they're more than what they really are sometimes too.
It's bad. I think my generation, what am I, Z, when I was born, we're probably the last ones to where I can remember still having a balanced childhood. My parents did really well to where I spent enough time outside, but I also had that I had my video games and whatnot, but it was still sort of like a balance now. But as I've gotten older, there's no balance. Like it's so hard to like I'm attached to every piece of technology that I have.
We become lazy.
Every,
Yep.
and so it's like the kids that are like this new generation of kids, I think it's like generation alpha, way worse because at this point and then with COVID happening when we're all inside, the attachment to that was just because that's all we had. Everything was virtual at that point. So I just hearing you guys talk about it is like, oh, like this is my generation. Because we were born into the peak of technology, the peak of social media. Social media was just becoming a thing when I was born. So it's like it's a little bit more difficult to how do I separate myself from something I've known my entire life. I've never not had this because I was born into it versus like the older generation where it's okay, I've been in the point where I haven't had a phone. I didn't have a gaming console, we had little box TVs. I don't need this. But to me it's like I need this. I've never not had it before. So that's the main problem with trying to detach from it.
Well,
I
again,
think it's like food though. Like it's around, you have to have it. We have to have computers and phones, just like we have to eat. But I think that it's the attachment to it, the craving for it, what's in our mind about it. That's what can be dangerous. That
We have
what
to
can be that's what can be unhealthy about it.
teach ourselves moderation.
Yes.
yeah.
I think it's consistency is the most. It's been a time period where I got my screen time to an hour a day, and all I was doing, I would just go outside and climb trees. And just listening to ambient music for like a month. That was like probably the only time in my life where I've had that low screen time, and I think that was the happiest I've ever been. It was not being on social media
That's
and
different.
not being on my phone.
Yeah,
That was the greatest time ever.
yeah.
But it's being consistent with it. That's the problem.
Yeah, but if you recognize what is the reality and what is the virtual, the VR, right? Fusion, right? That's yeah, that's our awakening, all right. So that we won't be uh, be tricked by them, and we know who we are. That's why we learn in. All right, so thank you. It's time up. All right, so thank you. So
Yes.
see you on
Thank
next.
you.
From them.
I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.